Man, I love when I am pleasantly surprised when I explore a new fragrance house to me. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, fragrance house overviews, reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Okay, guys, I was so pleasantly surprised by this fragrance house. It is Shay and Blue. Number one, I had no idea it has been around as long as it has, since 2012. This was a new to me in the last several months house. No clue that it existed, and I've been missing out, I will say that. I guess I was just a little bit surprised because sometimes brands that claim to be natural and genderless and good for the environment and recyclable and all that, sometimes can kind of skip out. Like, those are all good things that they aim for, but sometimes they just miss the mark when it comes to the actual scent. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. The founder was actually a part of Joma before creating his own business. So already right there, that's like some bragging rights, right? And this house kind of does remind me a little bit of Joma, but I'd say the closest, if I'm comparing it, if you've never tried it or heard of Shay and Blue, the closest vibes I kind of get is Nest New York. Now, this is definitely its own brand. None of these fragrances smell like Nest New York fragrances, but they give me that sort of vibe. And I love almost all Nest fragrances. So that's the closest I can kind of compare it to. We're talking that type of quality and also similar to that price point. Now, they actually sent me a discovery set really of travels. We have 5 10 mils that I got to test out. They sent it for a shorter form content on either TikTok, Instagram, but I love them so much that I needed to talk about them longer than 30 seconds. So I thought I'm just gonna do a YouTube video and share them with you guys because I thought some of you may be interested. So they haven't asked me to do this video. I just liked them so much, I really want to share them. So here are the bottles. Now, they did all come in color coordinated cardboard packaging that you could tell the difference. That's kind of my only drawback is I like to be able to look at my fragrance without reading it and know exactly what it is. They do all look the same, but they do have the label that says which one that they are, but that's just a little nitpicky. Like, even if the caps were just different colors like they came in the cardboard, that would be really helpful, but still, it's what's inside that counts. Okay, let's start with this first one. This is Blood Oranges. And when I first sprayed this, I was getting sort of an orange Tic Tac vibe in the very, very beginning of the opening of this. When I first tested it, I was like, ooh, it's like kind of bright, tangy, orange Tic Tac. Not super sweet, but I thought orange popsicle, orange Tic Tac. But then as it dries down, some other, nuance comes in with some woody notes, some even leather in here, but it's not a harsh leather. It's not an animalic leather. It's very much in the background, so it's very wearable. Anyone that kind of, thinks leather's too masculine, it's really not. This is truly very, very unisex. I think it's bright. I think it's done really, really nicely. It's not too astringent. It doesn't smell like orange cleaner, orange pledge, something like that. It's really quite beautiful. And I also find this to be such a year-round fragrance, this particular one. I don't always think of orange as like winter time, but I think if you layered something chocolatey with this, if you have even something cheap, hanging around that's like a chocolate, like Choco Musk would be a really good one to layer with this. Then you'd have that sort of blood orange chocolate vibe that I get more like decadent, wintry vibes from. But then this is also still something you could wear, in the warmer weather as well. Really, really enjoy this one. Also, all of these are very layerable. I will say that. They're not so complex that if you start mixing, you're getting a little bit too muddled and, messing with the nose. You could definitely layer all these, but they are substantial enough to wear on their own. Okay, this next one is Lilacs and Gooseberries. And This one is definitely spring in a bottle to me. I could wear this in the summertime as well, but I get major spring vibes from this. I never really had smelled gooseberry. I'm still not real sure. I should have looked up what a gooseberry was, but I definitely get some sort of fruity vibe from this, but it's mainly a really beautiful, bright lilac that I get in here, like fresh cut lilacs. It's very lovely. It's very uplifting. Yes, it is pretty floral, so you would have to like floral to like this one, but it's not a cloying floral. It's not too heavy. It's not too heady. It's just really beautiful and soft and feminine. Just imagine fresh cut flowers, basically. And then with a little hint of fruitiness, there's also something artisanal soapy about this. Not that it necessarily smells like soap, but it has that sort of, you know, the soap that's in the sort of parchment paper when you open it up, and the fragrance that maybe some of those soaps would have is what this reminds me of as well. So it's kind of clean, fresh, floral, ever so slightly fruity, but definitely a nice spring fragrance. All right, this next one, Black Tulip, is such a pretty fall floral for me. It has a sort of darkness to it, you know, like a noir. This is something, you know, like almost, I was gonna say femme fatale. Yeah, if a femme fatale was wearing a floral fragrance, she would wear something like this. It reminds me of like a deep, like a black orchid almost, or like a dahlia fragrance. And then it has a little bit of chocolate running through it too. This one is very niche smelling to me. And it does have that darkness element to it. So that's why I think more wintry fall with this one. I suppose you could wear it. You can wear your fragrances whenever you want, but I suppose you could wear it spring and summer. But to me, if you want to wear a floral in the colder weather, you want it to be a little bit more dark and mysterious like this. Like a lot of times it's a dark rose, or like a rose with oud or chocolate. And this one with the Black Tulip, I think it works so well for cold weather. Now these last two are actually my favorites, I think. So we have Melrose Apple Blossom, and this is a stunning fragrance, you guys. So I get more, so it has toffee apple in it, and you have a little bit of a toffee element going on, but really it's that apple blossom. Like there's definitely a floral element to this. And then there's also a little bit of citrus and amber going on. And it is just very complex and beautiful. It's another one that's perfect floral for fall time, but I could also see myself wearing this in the springtime as well. It is so stunning, you guys. I'm really impressed with how they work in their floral elements with their fragrances. They're very, very wearable and approachable, you know, not too much for those that hear floral and they're like, eeks. I think that this is a perfect step also into, you know, if you're too scared to go too far into niche, but you're tired of all your boring, regular department store fragrances, these are the types of fragrances that I would recommend to someone just getting into something different. This one also kind of reminds me of a floral street fragrance. Not that it copies a floral street fragrance, but I could see this being in the floral street house as well. Really, really beautiful one. Definitely one of my favorites. And then this last one is so stunning, and I think so many gourmand lovers would love this. This is Salt Caramel. And man, it's the tonka in here for me. Oh my gosh, it's so dreamy. It is very salty. You get a lot of salt out of it. And then you get this really smooth tonka in here as well that I think just, it really elevates this in a different place. I know a lot of people hear salt and caramel and they think like a Sol de Janeiro, you know, fragrance. But it's the tonka in here that really smooths things out and makes it like just like a cocoon. It is so lovely. And it's one of those that It smells very gourmand, yes, whenever it goes on. But then as I was going about my day and I would catch whiffs of it, I was like, man, it's just so, I say feminine, but it's definitely a unisex fragrance, but maybe it's just, you know, my skin chemistry was turning it into something more feminine. But I kept thinking, this is very wearable. Even though it's gourmand, I don't necessarily smell like food. I just smell delicious. So this is stunning, full size worthy for me, absolutely. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having a full size of all of these. I'm happy right now with my 10 mils because I have so many fragrances, but I mean, I would definitely consider getting full sizes. I'm really, really impressed. I know I'll be asked about longevity. You know, these are more natural fragrances, so they're not going to be beast mode. They're not going to last you 12, 24 hours. No, they're just not. But I get about a 4 to 6 hour wear out of them, and that's really all I expect out of fragrances like this. So I still think that the price point under $100 that's fine. I don't mind, you know, respraying once throughout the day to have it last the whole duration of the day. If that doesn't bother me, it may bother some. So I always, you know, just want to disclose that. But I'm personally very impressed. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to try them out. I do have a code with them. I do have a link. It will be in the description if you guys want to save 20% and try them out yourself. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Doesn't bother me. It just saves you guys money. But yeah, now I'm really interested. Like in new fragrances coming out, I'm gonna have my eye on Shay and Blue for sure. I thank you guys so much for watching today. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.